Hi everyone, my name is Emma and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to give you 5 travel tips, especially if you're planning to go anywhere or for your future travels, because there's so much you can do just to make sure you save a lot of money and also you get the best out of your travel. So, what are some of the tips? Obviously, these are inside tips. You won't get them anywhere else. Number one, you just want to know when to book. So, when is the best time to book your travel? First of all, you want to book your trip late in the year. So, starting from October there, and especially early January. All the airlines, they start doing a lot of marketing around that time, simply because they are projecting for their new year finance, to make sure that they actually fill their flights. So you'll see a lot of billboards on the likes of all the airlines, the major travel agents, online travel agents. They'll be on TV, they'll be anywhere in the newspapers, they'll be everywhere. So this is the time that you want to buy. And actually, it does make a lot of sense. Why do I say that? I'm just going to tell you how it kind of works so you know in advance, when you're planning to travel. What happens, the airline, when you go in, you're in the same cabin. And each and every cabin has got a different number row with a different number and a letter. So say for example, you're traveling on N1 and somebody else is traveling on N2. Now those two different seats could actually have very different prices. Simply because the airline has worked out that in order for them to fill their flight and raise whatever amount of money it costs them to take that flight from one place to another, they have to sell it in that way. So they're getting hold of everybody who is wants to travel, from the one who wants to spend very least to a lot, and you all end up paying differently. That's why when you call an online travel agent or even the airline, they always say their fares are subject to availability. So that means if you are the first person to come and buy your ticket, you will buy the cheapest ticket. That is called availability. The next person who will come in and get the second seat, and it goes more and more expensive. But the person who comes the last minute and buys their ticket a few days just before the flight departs, I can tell you they do pay through their nose, meaning very expensive. So really, you just need to know when. So unless it's an emergency, just make sure you kind of book early so that you get the best deal. Number two, you do need to plan. Where do you want to go and why, and whom are you going with? If you're going alone as a group of girls, or just by yourself, or even if you're bringing children with you, or just your family, please do your due diligence to make sure that you're safe when you travel. And also, you don't want just to turn up anywhere for the sake of traveling. You do want to go somewhere where all your interests will be catered for. So if you're traveling with the children, you want to make sure that your children's got a lot of children activities, water boats and slides and swings and all those kind of stuff that they like, the beach, so that everybody enjoys in the family. And for those adults, if it's hiking or mountain climbing or horse riding, so many things, but you have to do your homework in advance. There are very good places you can start. Lonely Planet, I know for those who love reading books, Lonely Planet are quite good. I've used it quite a lot of time. Rough Guides is also an excellent book. Both books will not only tell you where to go, when to go, where to stay, where to get the activities and all that. And also you do have the engine, the Google, if you go, there's some quite good information website, like TripAdvisor is quite good. And there's a lot of others. So, or even just go to the countries tourist board, where they kind of try to give you a lot of information, or even visit the tourist board in of the country that you want to visit to. They will give you a lot of information that are quite handy. So do that. And when it comes to Skyscanner especially, please do read the information and take on board what the travelers are saying, because you don't want to go and repeat the same mistakes that people have gone and they've experienced. You want to have a hassle-free, fun-filled time. So please do take time and make sure you read and decide where to go and where. The number 3 is a comparison website. Use the comparison website. I tell you guys, you can save so much money just doing this one simple tip. And what you want to do is, I'll give you very quickly three comparison websites that I tend to use a lot. One is Skyscanner. The second one is Google. Google now has got a flight search engine. And the third one is Kayak. What these engines do is you go there and you enter the airport you're departing from. Say I'm in London, so I'll put London, any airport. And then I will put the destination where I'm going to. So if I'm going to Nairobi, I'll put Nairobi. And then I'll enter the date I want to travel, and the dates I want to come back. And then the engine, once you press search, the engine will do its magic and give you all the airlines that are going to that destination, all the local travel agents that also do sell flights to that destination. Just make sure when you're selecting, don't just look at the lowest price. Unless if you're selecting the airline, then that is okay. But if you're not going to use the airline and you're going to use a travel agent, because most travel agents do have cheaper fares most of the time, is go with a reputable company. So a reputable company, for example, you're looking for, if you're in UK, for example, and even worldwide, Expedia is one good one. ebookers.com is also a very excellent one. And there's so many others. And just to give a disclaimer, I'm not promoting any of those people that I've mentioned. It just that the engines that I tend to use and travel companies. And the reason why I tend to use them is because they have very good policies. For example, for both ebookers and Expedia, when I've made a mistake, which tends to be surprisingly, either my name is wrong or I've kind of booked a wrong date or something, I always, I can call the travel agent and they will cancel my flight if I call them before midnight, and they will book me new flights free of charge. So meaning I will not pay the airline penalty, because that is what makes the flight become very, very expensive. The other thing as well, and to be honest, I've not seen it with most of the online travel agents. You can read the travel rules of your tickets. Meaning, if you want to change your ticket when you're abroad, say something has gone wrong or something, a lot of online travel agents don't give you the flight info, the flight rules. But these two online travel companies, they do actually give you that information. So you'll be able to go in and before you actually purchase, you'll be able to read the small print to say, does it change your flights? And how much does it charge? How much does the airline charge? The most, all the airline charge different amounts. So it's always not nice to know whether it's changeable or it's not. If you were to cancel, is it refundable or it's not? The other thing also you want to check out when you're checking on your flights, do play with the days. So what do I mean by that? So most of the people who travel during the weekend, they do pay some supplement. It just means if the ticket was £300, they will put another £20 or £30 simply because everybody wants to go to the UK during the weekend, so they can maximize the money they're making. So you want to fly, between Monday and Wednesday, and The other thing as well, you just want to kind of check different dates. So I'll check, for example, if I leave on Monday and come back on Monday, what's my price? And then I'll change, I leave on Tuesday and then come back on Monday. How does that look like? And then I'll check on Wednesday, come back on Tuesday. How does that look like? You'll be amazed at how much you will save simply by doing that simple exercise. And you can do that on the comparison websites, so that before you even land to the travel agent that you are going to choose, you already are selecting the lowest price. Tip number 4 is check your confirmation email. So once you've done all the booking thing, you're happy, you selected the travel agent that you want to go to because you know it's nice and reputable, they're not going to go bust and leave you without flights, or even, you know, if the hotel doesn't work properly, or rather it's not as it's advertised, so at least you can get your booking taken care of by the airline, by the travel agent. So just make sure you do that. I just remembered something else, sorry guys, is make sure you add your hotel reservation. So if you're planning to go abroad, don't just book your flights only. When you book your flights only and you don't include your hotel, if something goes wrong, maybe there's civil arrest, touch wood, or maybe the flight, your airline goes bust, you'll be left out there. And you know, so you do want to make sure that you book it as what we call a package. It just means that they're all attached together. So when you're buying your flight, you're adding accommodation, even if it's for one night. So you're staying somewhere in a hotel, even if you don't need it, just add it, because that qualifies that booking as a package reservation. And also, if you do need car, you end up getting a very cheap bundle compared to if you bought those things separately. So yeah, so make sure you do that, and also use your credit card. I know I did say that in a different video, but because I'm kind of giving you a plan here, so use your credit card. Even if you just want to use a credit card and then take the money from your debit and pay it off, that also is like another security that you're adding on top of the package reservation that you've done. So if anything was to go to happen, you not only have your credit card to back you up, or rather to kind of provide a protection, but you also have the travel agent to actually make sure that you're taken care of. Finally is just before a few days, 72 it's actually 72 to 24 to 72 hours before your flight, do go on the airline website, log in using the information that the travel agent would have sent to you. They would normally send you what they call the airline reference. It just means it will have the name of the airline and it will say the reference. Enter that information, and then it might either ask you for your name or your ticket number, and log in into the airline system, and there you will be able to select your meals. You'll be able to select your seats. So if you're vegan or a vegetarian or whatever you eat, you'll be able to go there and actually be able to select meals, whether it's kosher or whatever. Just you'll be able to do that. The other thing also, seats, so important. You don't want to end up sitting next to a toilet, guys. And you know how busy it gets. Some hour when you just want to nod off, it doesn't happen. So really, just make sure you check in. You do your online check-in, and also just in case something happens while you're on your way to the airport and you get delayed in traffic or something, at least you know you have that buffer. You're going to get into the airport and you don't need to do the physical check-in. All you have to do is go drop your bags and do your security checks. That's the end of my video today. I hope you find it helpful. If you do, please give your thumbs up and do subscribe to my videos so that you're the first person to know when I do release my new videos. I'll be back with more tips. Take care.